And President Trump and Vladimir Putin met for about 4 hours, one-on-one, just with the translator. And it was, needless to say, we'll never know. But they came out after that, and they were running late. You know, George Stephanopoulos from the ABC affiliate just had to go on and on about they're running behind, but they made up on with lunch. Oh, give me a break. Who cares? I mean, geez Louise. Anyways, Vladimir, who, if you aren't so familiar with President Putin over in Russia, let me just give you a little background. He's a murderer. He's ordered assassinations of political adversaries and used outlaw chemical weapons to do it. He oversees the Russian military units that shot down Malaysia Flight 17 and murdered almost 300 civilians. He's a crook and a liar. He's broken almost every agreement he has signed with the United States, including on Syria and Ukraine. He has become one of the world's richest men through embezzlement and stealing from his own people. And this, I give credit to Ben Sass, who tweeted this out before the meeting even took place. That's where we'll get to the good stuff. The press conference. Putin had to go on. Quote, bilateral relationship is going through a complicated stage. Cold War is a thing of the past. End quote. Do you like my Russian accent? I've been working on my Vladimir all week. Next thing I need to do is get on my stallion, shirtless, running around. I mean, that might help. Because let me make it clear. Russia is never going to be described other than being evil on this program. I can assure you that. Russia, Putin, not the Russian people, the Russian government is evil. He went on to criticize the United States for withdrawing from the Iran deal. Well, yeah. Why are you criticizing us about the Iran deal? Give me a break. Yeah, because you're backing Iran. No. Don't. If I was President Trump, I would have got up there and I would have looked at Vladimir and said, I know they were already prepared marks, but I would have said to him, mind your business, Putin. Mind your business. You are not going to tell us what we're going to do with our foreign policy. And he went on and suggested that the Crimea situation wasn't a result of Russian aggression, but instead in the Ukrainian struggle. Okay. Yeah. The aggression, the aggressive tactics of the Russian army of moving tanks into the Ukraine and taking it over was not the Russian fault. It was just the Ukrainian struggle. Okay. All right. I'm just a fool. And then Trump took to the microphone for some very bizarre comments. He, quote, both countries are responsible for the deterioration in relations. I think that the United States has been foolish, Trump stated. I think we've all been foolish. We should have had dialogue a long time ago. Frankly, before I got to office, and I think we're all to blame. He then made direct reference. I mean, did you hear that quote? That's unbelievable. And I think we're all to blame. I want to go back to the 2012 presidential debate between former President Barack Obama and Governor Romney, when he said the number one geopolitical threat was Russia. Governor Romney, the 1980s called and they want their foreign policy back. I gotta say, you will not hear this probably much from me right now or in the foreseeable future, but Mitt Romney was right there. Jeez Louise. And then to go on and bash our intelligence agencies. I mean, you got Trump apologist Newt Gingrich coming out and tweeting out that President Trump, you need to recant what you said and you need to make it right with the intelligence community. And And I don't think the intelligence community, I mean, you look at the corruption at the DOJ, the FBI, it's been politicized over the last, 8 to 10 years. And it's not good. It's absolutely, but has been politicized. And there are still good people that are working inside these institutions. But there are a lot that, I mean, you look at the guy that was Peter Schwartz. I don't even know his name. Peter whatever, the guy that has the running meme all over Twitter with his dirty little looks. The FBI agent, he sent 33,000 text messages to his lover that was in the FBI talking about taking down President Trump. I mean, we're in troubled times. I mean, you got the left, who anything President Trump does, they're up in arms. They're up in arms. And then you have a couple sections on the right where you have the MAGA crowd, where I am not a Make America Great. You got all these people, hashtag MAGA, hashtag Make America Great Again. Hey, America's always been great. It's not make it again. It's always been great. It always will. We have troubled times. Every nation, every person has troubled times. And then you have the conservatives, people like Ben Sasse, people like Rand Paul, people like Ted Cruz, that are fighting the unbelievable odds every single day. And one of the things that really got to me this entire... It actually made me laugh. It made me laugh and really made me think on this press conference was Vladimir wanted to... I want to get the exact... He suggested a joint working group on cybersecurity. I guess comedy is what the Russians think now. I mean, are you serious? Cybersecurity? You can't make this stuff up. You absolutely cannot make this stuff up. And to me, what a slap in the face. Shoes. Ooh, ooh. I mean, but when is President Trump going to get off his obsession with the collusion case with Mueller? I mean, it's already been facts that they hacked the DNC. They hacked the DCCC. They hacked Hillary Clinton's campaign. Okay? Mueller just indicted 12 Russians. And they talked about this at the press conference, or a private meeting, and at the press conference. They talked about interrogating these Russians with Americans watching. And then they wanted to Bill Browder, who was on Beck today. He's an anti-Putin activist. He's been stopped by Interpol. He's been stopped all over because of Vladimir Putin wants to bring him back to Russia and wants to kill him. He can't do it anywhere else because he's too big of a name. But I think President Trump, is going to agree to, just an interrogation with these people. I hope he doesn't. I hope he does not agree to the anti-Putin activists being interrogated by Russians. I mean, it would be more of torture, in my opinion. Look, hey guys, here's $5. Go up and get us some Twinkies. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, yeah, I don't know. He's just out of breath. Of course that would happen. But again, I ask this question again. When will President Trump move forward and move on from this Mueller investigation, this collusion? It almost is consuming his entire life. And here's the thing. This whole prepared speech with Vladimir Putin, it was a disaster. Yet you have the MAGA crowd and you have your lefties who are just, a civil war's coming. I mean, we're in a soft one right now where people are just getting angry. Politics are taking over every aspect of people's lives. Not mine, I can assure you that. I got more important things. Youth sports, trying to lose a little bit of weight so I look better on camera for you guys. You know, that's one thing I'm working on. But some people just, they live and breathe all of this. You have people that are tweeting out after President Trump nominated Brett Kavanaugh that never Trumpers would be okay with Hillary picking the SCOTUS pick right now. I mean, this is absolutely asinine. It's crazy, and it is absurd that someone would still be talking about never Trumpers this far into his presidency. Come on, be consistent, okay? Anyone that voted for Trump, anyone that did not vote for Hillary Clinton, obviously was excited to have her not be able to pick a justice. And for I've saw a lot of people out there. Well, the people that voted for that would not vote for Trump would be happy to see Hillary get that pick. I mean, sit there, think about that for a second. That is the most absurd statement I've had to speak on this program ever. I mean, obviously, I told you last week I wanted Amy Barrett, but I had a bad feeling going into the announcement that he was going to pick Kavanaugh because reports were coming in that she was still in Indiana and Brett Kavanaugh was heading to the White House. And before his name was even announced, there were crowds outside the Supreme Court just protesting. And failed presidential candidate Hillary Clinton on Friday, July 13th, Friday the 13th. Oh, what a perfect day for her to speak. I mean, my goodness. How much are her speeches costing nowadays anymore? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? I mean, what, $99? She spoke Friday night to the American Federations of Teachers and warned of, quote, devastating consequences, end quote, if Brett Kavanaugh was confirmed to the bench. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of his. I honestly have not researched enough. I need to go back and read some of his prolific writings from the courts, his opinions, and I'm looking forward to watching all of his confirmation hearings. Mr. McConnell tweeted out that by October 1st, they'll have him confirmed or they'll have hearings. So, no, he said they'll have him confirmed. So you would think they would be starting the confirmation hearings soon. And Secretary Clinton went on to say, quote, I used to worry that they wanted to turn the clock back to the 1950s. Now I worry they want to turn it back to the 1850s, end quote, Clinton said. Well, 1850 would predate the American Civil War, where slavery was practiced regularly. I mean, is that what you're comparing us to? Is that what you're comparing anyone that doesn't think like you? Is that they want to take people back to slavery, that right there is what is fueling the fire in America. And it's not just Hillary Clinton. It's President Trump. It's right-wing people. It's absolutely people that are tribalistic pack dogs. That's what it is. Because pack dogs go in packs. And that's what a lot of these people that are fueling the fire are doing. I'm just an everyday American, you know. I got 3 kids, you know, work a couple jobs. I volunteer, do stuff. I do this radio program. I enjoy this kind of stuff. I'm sick and tired of hearing that. And I'm encouraging you to stop listening to this crap that is fueling the fire and making people upset. So I got a few questions for her, Secretary Clinton. I thought you were going to bask in the sunset and retire. Doesn't seem like. Seems like she's going out and getting speech after speech after speech. I'd be interested to see how much the AFT paid her to come out there, because I'm sure it's not the going rate as it used to be 3-4 years ago. You know, and here's a really, really good question that I'm afraid that the answer would be, well, I'm doing all kinds of stuff with the Clinton Foundation. We're doing all good stuff all over the year. Why don't you take all that Clinton Foundation money that you have, the billions, as I'm sure it's in the billions, and why don't you do what like Elon Musk is doing, going up to Flint, Michigan and helping those poor kids. If you didn't see it, one of the prolific tweeters from that area asked Elon to help them. Let's all tweet out to Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Chelsea, all of the Clinton Foundation people, to please, let's help here in the United States by getting the Flint, Michigan water situation resolved. Let's help those houses. You're not hearing any more about that, are you? Are you? Unbelievable. Hey, let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and take a break. And on the other side of the break, we're going to dig deep into a story that is a great story. Woo-wee! Woo-wee, folks! Ooh, I missed the first couple minutes on the video, but that's alright, because you can see my pretty face. And my Weiler's tee. Hey, I had to take the Alabama hat down because my friend Buck was giving me some hard stuff. So I got my Maryland Terrapins. I'm a Terps fan, born and raised outside of D.C. And my Boston Red Sox. I know I'm doing the Texas Longhorns, but man. Ooh. Happy Prime Day, people. How we doing? How are we doing? We're going to talk about the Florida insane story out of Florida. And then later on I think I have some natural selection that is really taking place in the progressive industry. And so much more. So much more. I have some campus reform stuff. I mean, we could go to overtime tonight, folks. We could go to overtime. I'm not sure if we're going to, but we sure could. And welcome back to the program, folks. AJ Davis here. Lanternier extraordinaire. Hey, make sure to do me a favor. I'm a prolific tweeter on I'm always on Twitter. I'm always on the social media handles. Follow me at Twitter at Oregon Redskin. And then on the Facebook, Common Sense Radio. It's easy to find. And hey, do me a favor, invite your friends. You know, if you invite 5 to 10 people, I can assure you that I will get my friend Brandon over at Beal's Custom Woodworking and Engraving to make something up to share with the people. Start inviting and getting 5 to 10 people to like the Common Sense Radio page. Okay. But yeah, I'm gonna talk to Brandon about doing that. He and I had already had some conversations about that, but we're gonna get something up, and I'll have it to show off next week. Okay. We're gonna start in Florida with Walter Stolper, 72. Just received an eviction notice. Walter, I'm sorry. We got to pray for this guy. He's a troubled individual. He reportedly was walking down the street with a shopping cart or some kind of cart to carry containers of gasoline. And he had 2 large, they had to have been between 20 and 30 gallon tanks to hold gasoline. Witnesses told police they smelled gasoline from inside. They found 8 empty containers that had been filled and dropped down a trash chute from the 15th floor of this 400 plus condo. So, the mainstream media is so worried about what Trump's tweet is, what Trump did here, what Trump did this. Thank you to the Americans, to the citizens of Miami who reported this. Thank you to the police officers that took handle this. This is a big story. Could you imagine a 400 unit condo or 400 unit apartment of condos being blown up? Walter was quoted as saying, "Kill all the Jews," end quote. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to kill all the Jews. When police investigated a little bit more, they found 28 more containers of gasoline in his apartment and a little storage area. 28. So you got 28. You've got 8 that were already empty, and then 2 that he was carrying. So he was gonna create a massive bomb, and they also found other bomb making materials along with all that. So that's 38 containers of gasoline. That would have probably blew the freaking place. I would have saw it probably in Oregon. Being a little sarcastic. But seriously, 38 gallon or 38 containers of gasoline. That to me is, I saw it on a Twitter tweet from Miami, and I started following a little more. And the police searched his apartment, finding 2 fans to assist in making the fire spread, and padlocks to lock up fire hoses to make it hard for first responders. So this guy, Walter, was thinking for maximum carnage. That's insane to me. It's absurd. So whenever you got this fire going, you had the fans just to spread the fire out all over. My goodness. That right there to me is kind of absurd. After further investigation, the police found some Nazi swastikas, and ideology was also found. Why aren't we talking about this? We are lucky the people of Miami stopped this. This was going to be a terrorist attack. It's a domestic terrorist. He was going to cause terror. Whew. Jeez Louise. How lucky did we get? That should be... the front of the news. Jeez, I gotta have some more of my peach iced tea, folks. Sorry. Bear with me. Alrighty. So, I covered the Janus ruling pretty in depth, I thought. Yeah, I could have probably worked on some things. But one thing that I saw perusing Twitter was a Twitter account by AFL-CIO leading president, whatever you want to, I don't know what you call these he's a union boss. And it kind of pulled me to my attention to another Twitter account, which is @SlateUnion. So Slate.com is a progressive website that it's been around for quite a while. And I'm pulling it up right now. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm quoting them. I don't want to misquote these people. But this is what they've put. Independent voices for their Slate Plus, their membership-driven arm of their site. We need quality journalism more than ever. Help us hold Donald Trump and the politicians and media institutions that enable him accountable. Okay, I can understand that. And then on July 13th, I saw Richard Trumka, like I told you. He is the president of the 12 million plus members of the AFL-CIO. And his Twitter bio goes, everybody deserves a good job and power to negotiate for better wages and benefits, whether you're in a union or not. Okay. So what he's promoting there is you don't have to be in a union or not, but everyone deserves it. And I 100% agree with you. Until I get to this July 13th tweet. It's time for @Slate's management to finally approve their fair contract that their writers have earned. Oh. Are they already under contract is what I want to know? One that confides these workers union security. There it is. Union security. That's code word for having a union. The @Slate Union has the AFL-CIO's full support and 12.5 million union brothers and sisters watching their back. But Mr. Trumka, you just said people have a right to negotiate for better wages and security of their job with or without a union. So I'm confused here. So the @Slate Union Twitter feed, and this is the Twitter feed that he retweeted. After weeks of bargaining, we're proud to say we've made progress with management on many key issues. We're also frankly dismayed by how management has responded to one critical request. Let me guess. Is it pay? Is it benefits? What could it be? What could it be? They're rejecting our proposal for union security and our contract. In lieu of union security, management is insisting on an open shop, basically writing a right-to-work clause into our contract. That means that any union member can choose not to pay dues while still receiving full benefits from the union. Okay, I gotta stop you there. I gotta stop it there. The president of your union, your labor boss, was just saying that in his Twitter bio. Everyone has a right to that. So why not have a member not pay dues and still receive the full benefits. If this labor union is for labor, why do we have to be forced into paying these dues? And the Janus ruling is public, Slate is private, and on Slate.com there is plenty of articles destroying that awful Janus ruling. Well, hey, I'm a public employee. Pardon me. I'm excited for it, that I don't have to pay that $89 to $100 a month to people that don't represent my beliefs. Could care less. And I never see them. Unless you're going over to Human Resources, or it's on their classified or their Teachers Week or whatever. You know what I mean? You never see them. So why, my $100 a month? Give me a break. If you're for labor, if you're for the American worker, the blue-collar worker, then why should we be forced to pay these dues? Because there's plenty of people that are excited, that are happy to pay these dues. I can assure you, there will be at least half, if not more, people, especially in states like California, Oregon, Massachusetts, all over Illinois, they'll be happy to pay those. I mean, I know a lot of people that are happy to pay it right now, have no problem with paying these dues. And I'm sure that 90% of these writers, these editors, these different people over at Slate.com are happy to pay that. But if people don't want to pay it, why not? Where's the equity in that? Where's the fairness? Huh? Where's the fairness in that? Oh, and then it goes on. Right to work is a fundamentally anti-union principle. It essentially introduces a tragedy of the common issues by enabling anyone who so chooses to freeload off the labor and dues of paying union members. It has the potential to sow discord amongst its members. It also, at heart, a union-busting measure. It is designed to dilute the power of unions, and this week it won a huge victory with the Janus ruling. Well, I don't understand what that has to do with anything with Slate.com, because Slate.com is a private company. Unbelievable. Slate has their Slate Plus program. It's basically their subscription side of the website, and they have 35,000 people at last check. And the first year, and you sign up for a 3-year membership. $35 for the first year and $59 annually beginning your second year. And you can cancel at any time. Well, it's like a gym membership. I mean, shoot, I know before I missed some time and it would charge you no matter what. And that's what they're hoping for. So, back in 2017, there was a committee of people that got together to try and unionize, get the vote. 90% of people that voted to unionize. But there's still that between 6 and 10% that didn't want to unionize. And they should still, support the labor, support the blue-collar worker. Labor unions are for workers. Why not support them? Tell me why not. Come on. Julia Turner, editor-in-chief, and she's at Julia Turner on Twitter. I got on her Twitter account and looked all over, trying to find the union-busting tweets, articles that she supported. No, she's trying to hire people. She tweets all about the Slate job openings and different things like that. This is supposed to be a progressive page and support. I think this might be a progressive light, or this might be, they might be, practicing survival of the fittest over there, because shouldn't Slate want to give everybody birth control, want to fully pay for all their college, want to fully pay for all their health insurance, not have one bill. Oh, no, no, no. That's only for the government. That's not for Slate.com. Sorry. They don't practice what they preach. But they do have, and if any of you are legal assistants working out there, I want to let you know that they have a brand new job opening for a legal assistant, I'm sure, to help with the, quote, union negotiations. And I find it just hypocritical that these people are the ones that are blasting all the cultural issues, they're all over the board for different things. I mean, look at the front of their page today. Look who's the Macron candidate now. Trump's national security team must resign. And it just goes on and on, you know. But they won't pay their workers a fair wage. I bet their workers aren't making minimum wage. Why not pay them $100 an hour? Oh, man. You cannot make this stuff up. I mean, seriously, it's some of the absolute hysterical stuff. I mean, you just can't make it up. Anyways, let me bring up, I have right here in hometown Oregon, we have, give me a second, oh, here it is, my campus reform article. And it hits roots here in Oregon. This is the same, it's a public funded university, Portland State. And credit to campus reform, Tony Arkeson, New Jersey senior campus correspondent. Portland State University is seeking to hire a women's studies professor with a history of feminist activism, end quote, on issues like reproductive justice. Although advocates of reproductive justice make clear that expanding access to abortion is their primary concern, Portland State insists that the new hire would not be required to support abortion rights. I might have to go and apply for this position. I mean, my goodness, what do you think? This is the same school that had like some Marxist classes I saw a couple years back. I mean, this is an openly communist, Marxist university. And unlike more widespread social movements such as feminism and environmentalism, reproductive justice is a specific ideology birthed from foundational texts and a foundational person. That's a quote from Loretta Ross, who is now professor at Hampshire College, and she used to work at Portland State University. I mean, so reproductive justice. What does reproductive justice mean? I mean, reproductive justice. There's actually a sistersong.net, and they define reproductive justice as, Sistersong defines reproductive justice as a human right to maintain personal bodily anatomy, have children and not have children, and parent the children we have in safe and sustainable communities. Well, yeah, you have absolutely. I've never heard of being an adult described like that, or being a mom and dad. Have children, not have children. So, do you count? Here's a question: do you count getting, say, you're 20 weeks pregnant with a baby? Do you count that as having a baby, or is it still a clump of cells? Huh? You tell me. You can have a baby or not have a baby. Reproductive justice. Go ahead and look it up. I mean, it's absurd. It's absurd. And on to other crazy stuff of the week. California Democratic Party rebukes Senator Dianne Feinstein and endorses challenger Kevin Leon. Folks, we are in troubled times. We are in times where up is down and left is right. Maybe it's because Senator Dianne Feinstein's getting a little too old for politics and traveling back and forth. Maybe that's why the Democratic Party of California pulled her endorsement. Or is it, or is it, let me see. Oh, I stand corrected. She's 85. And De Leon is 51. So he's 34 years younger. And he's the author of the state's sanctuary state law, which became the target of the Trump administration lawsuit. A judge dismissed the case. So he has a big name right now in California. I mean, California has passed state law, sanctuary state, where they don't have to give into any kind of police force, federal police force, whenever there's any detainees, any criminals. I know it's hard to say. I know it's a scary word. But I mean, you look at the kid, the special needs girl, and her mom that was chopped up with a chainsaw. They were illegal immigrants. I'm not sure why this is such a soft subject for Americans. To me, it's pretty easy. We don't let murderers out. We don't let pedophilias out. I mean, castrate them. Send them to prison. The pedophiles, of course. I'm not talking about illegal immigrants. I don't want to get anything misconstrued or taken out of context, because you look at California, it has a top 2 primary system that sends the 2 highest primary vote getters to the general elections without regard to the party. So, obviously, Feinstein and De Leon got the top 2. I mean, it's not even up for debate. And it's going to be interesting. I mean, you see, we're in July, and the Democratic Party of California pulled its support for a senator that's been in office since 1992. She's 85 years old. She's obviously corrupt. Not all politicians are corrupt, but she's famously grilling Amy Barrett about the dogma of her perception, of her feeling. It's going to be a tough road for De Leon. Feinstein has $7 million in campaign cash socked away as of May, 10 times what he had. But you look over in New York City, Alexandria Cortez, she beat a incumbent who was the number 2 in the Democratic House, who was going to take over for Nancy Pelosi, who's become senile, the pharmacist hasn't been getting her medicine. So he's done. And Crowley, if you look at it, there was a tweet exchange between Cortez and him, how he is not backing her, and there's some rumors. Okay, well, I can say rumors all I want, but supporters of her and Crowley are going back and forth about how that he's not supporting her at all. But that's what you get when you get a democratic socialist. What are you going to do? The masks are coming off. They're coming off. And you're going to see what we have. They're going to have. All right, let's get to some kind of interesting news that really kind of makes you feel good. Kind of makes you just go, told you so. Makes you go, huh. New Mexican president to create border force to stop illegal immigrants, drugs from Central America. President-elect Andres Lopez Obrador will create a border force to stop illegal immigrants and stem the tide of drugs and illegals, guns pouring into Mexico from Central and South America. Bravo. Absolutely. This is the same guy that has refused to get security after his election. I think that's kind of dangerous myself. But, hey, kudos to you. I mean, he says the people will protect him. And a lot of drugs are coming in from Central and South America. I mean, you look at El Salvador, you look at a lot of those countries, those third world countries right there. It's sad that the cartel has overran these countries, and I mean, and they're bringing it up, heroin, they're bringing up cocaine, they're bringing up anything that will make money to send back to the cartel. Can you imagine that lifestyle? Can you imagine traveling, say, from Guatemala, from El Salvador, all the way up through Mexico? What is that? I mean, here, I got to Google moment. Distance between South America and America border. Let's see. Here, we'll go distance from Brazil to United States. Let's go Guatemala, because looking at the map, I mean, that's insane. I know a personal friend that's driven from Guatemala, from actually Oregon down to Guatemala. I mean, that's a heck of a drive. So just distance from the United States to Guatemala is 1,500 miles. Well, that's whoa. That from that to Sandy. Let's see. It's insane. I mean, that's from Guatemala to Mexico is 926 miles. So just think, if you are the cartel and you're trafficking people, you're trafficking drugs, guns, you name it, up through Mexico, through Honduras, Costa Rica, all kinds of different places in Central America. You don't just take a jet in. You're not flying at San Diego Airport and unload. Okay, I got a couple pallets of cocaine, of M14s. It's crazy. This is why we need ICE. This is why we need to follow the law. When you have so much unrest in Central America, you have it in Mexico, where people are doing anything. They're willing to be trafficked up through Mexico to get to America. It's sad. It's sad. But we have to have laws. We can't have everybody in the world come here. Open borders is a bad thing. Hey, I want to just thank you all for tuning in tonight. I mean, it's just been a jam-packed show. Jam-packed. I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for everything that you do, because America is great because of you, because of me, and we've got to grow this generation. We have got to continue to put God first. Hey, God bless you. God bless the United States of America. And thanks for tuning in to Common Sense Radio.
You're listening to the Lanterns Radio Network. We are the network dedicated to empowering the individual, illuminating the truth, defending American exceptionalism, and inspiring